What we're going to do, we'll have the question and answer session first. There'll be a short break in the middle, and then we'll have the permaculture film. I'll introduce you. Pick any name you like.
I shan't remember.
Janet Williams, veteran organic gardener, and I'm sure she could tell you a little bit about her background, which is very interesting. Catherine Mason, she also belongs to a new and transition group, and Grenville Simons, who's a member of our transition group, who teaches organic gardening.
Am I allowed to ask one question first?
Absolutely.
What is the transition group?
Right, okay.
Is it quick? Otherwise we'll leave it.
I'll keep it very, very quick. There are some
You can all
here.
tell me,
Please help yourselves. Well, the background to transition, a chap called Rob Hopkins, it grew out of a permaculture course in Ireland, and it worked so well over there. When he moved to Totnes, he decided to take this idea on and take it further. So the whole movement in England anyway started in Totnes, and it's really strong down there. And then the idea grew, and it's now international. There are lots and lots and lots of transition towns around the world, and it's growing in the UK quite rapidly. So Malvern is a transition town, has official transition town status now. We get a lot of support from the district council and the county council. And basically it is about building resilience in our community in the face of the threats from climate change and peak oil, which we're all going to be facing, are already facing, certainly will be in the future. Personally, I got involved, my husband got involved, because I feel passionately about the sort of future my children and grandchildren are going to have, and they're going to be facing. So we have lots of working groups, food group, energy group. We're looking at setting up a transport group. We have an awareness group, lots of working groups, and really just getting the message out to people, looking at buying locally, encouraging people to grow their own food, all sorts of things that we can do and we used to do years ago. Getting back to maybe just closer-knit communities is an essential message, at the same time as dealing with these issues of climate change. That's about it in a nutshell.
And you all knew that. You all knew that, didn't you?
Would you like to put your question in?
Yes, indeed. I spaced them as far apart as they said on the packet, watered them, did everything I should have done, but although I got a very good head of leaves on them, the roots did not develop at all. They were just stayed little thin red stems.
What time of year was it?
Oh, late summer, August, early September.
Radishes are very difficult to grow after the spring. If you all had the same, were you using the same seed?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I grew some in the ground last summer, and they were sown, it wouldn't have been after midsummer, probably in July, and they were absolutely fine.
Depends how much it rains.
But
yes, as well, the moisture.
And yeah, the moisture is what will cause the roots to swell.
Can I just ask a question, because I think it's specific to this? Lots of things say sow in the spring. How do you know when the spring is?
When it feels warm enough.
You know, what is it when it gets warmer, but you know, how much?
It's very interesting, that, isn't it? Because I think they put that on the seed packet so that you sow the first lot and they sit there and they rot. Yes. Then you've got to go out and buy another packet. No, you've got to wait till the soil is warm enough, or if you're plant them in a polytunnel or a greenhouse. But
so really sort of no sooner than mid-March-ish.
Well, it varies.
Unless you get an early warm spell.
It will vary enormously from one year to another. The seasonal variation is huge. So this is why nobody ever says a specific date. You have to go out there and feel what the soil's doing.
Once your grass has started growing and needs mowing, that's spring.
Oh right, now
that's a good point. That's very good point. 6 inches between the rows, or 6 inches between each seed?
I thought it was 6 inches between each seed.
Well, it may be then that you've had poor germination. Although you said you got leaves, so that's not the case, is it?
No, I got a good head of leaves.
Because you don't, I mean, for normal radishes, you wouldn't need them to be 6 inches apart. They could be closer together than that, unless you were growing the giant you know, like the big white ones
Yes.
for winter use.
Yes.
Of them. If in doubt, I usually fling seaweed liquid acids as well. If you get that, that's
Right.
quite.
Yeah,
You know,
that's-
if you think that there's any sort of nutritional or mineral deficiency, that the seaweed liquid that I get it through the organic gardening catalogue, but that's
Right.
it's very good. It will correct any sort of slight imbalance.
Cheaper at Tamar Organics.
Is it? I should bear that in mind.
No, I've only just done the price comparison this winter, and I've always bought from Garden Organic.
They're quite expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, but you
Yeah,
can't
there
get
was-
things like that. It's difficult to get things like that just in a garden centre, isn't it?
Less so than it used to be, but yes, it is. You can get seaweed-based. I've seen seaweed-based
Have you?
things in the
Right.
garden centre, but I don't know that they're as good as the ones that I've been using year in, year out
Yeah.
from Garden Organic.
Yeah.
Last year I put in a whole lot of different sorts of cabbages and things, and none of them seem to come to anything. I've got stalks with leaves at the top, but nothing really that's sort of hearted up. I could have some of your secrets for good brassicas.
I'm not the world's best with brassicas myself because I've got very light sandy soil, which they don't on the whole like very much. They're like, I think I'm right in saying that they like a heavier soil. They do better on heavier soil.
And did you give them long enough to grow? I sow my Brussels sprouts and my purple sprouting in the middle of March, when I'm still eating the one from the year before. And I sow them in the open, I don't sow them in pots. And plant them out as soon as they're about this high.
It's very important, is it, the when you actually sow them, because you've got to have good, strong plants, haven't you, to get it before they go into the winter.
I usually grow them in a pot and then
Yes.
transplant them when I think they're a reasonable size.
Yes, I do that. I grow something sort of early, and then I leave the middle of the summer, and then I grow something later on for the late autumn and winter. The early variety I grow something called Derby Day, which is I sowed that 2 weeks ago or so, I suppose now, and that, in theory, one should be eating on Derby Day. So June or whatever, 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that. And that's good. It's a really good grower, and you can have eaten all those before the cabbage white butterflies come along. And then I leave a gap and then do these the later get the later ones going. But having sown the seed early, I think that's one of the secrets.
There were probably pigeons as well, but I did this year, last year I did net them all.
Yeah, yeah. Cavallo Nero is fun though, isn't it? It's great because you just go on picking it and it grows. Although my lot's given up now with all these frosts and things.
It's interesting because half of mine has, and I've obviously got a rather mixed seed strain,
Right.
because some of them are fine. They're all in a bed together,
Right.
and they're about 16 plants,
Yeah.
and about half of them have succumbed to the frost,
Right.
and the other half are growing away,
Oh well,
looking perfectly happy. So
no, mine are all like that.
I'm thinking I probably ought to try and save the seed from the ones
Yeah.
that have made it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine has succumbed to a pheasant. and it's surprising how tall a pheasant can reach.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't really bother.
I saved my crinkly, this crinkly Italian one.
Yeah.
I saved them last year
Yeah.
myself.
Right.
And they always germinate much better than the ones out of the packets.
Yes.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and they come true, do they? From seed? They'll come
They
true
have
from
done
seed.
so far. Yes.
So yours are going to seed already? They're going.
I can
Well, some of mine are starting to flower.
the centre, the sort of the
Yeah.
seed head coming
Starting to
out.
come. Yeah.
But like this lady here, they were very skinny plants.
Mm.
Very skinny.
Of course, the only thing nature wants to do is produce seed.
Mm.
So your thing will go up and seed, come what may.